Greetings. You have your ticket? You don't have one? No problem, my friend. Just hit the subscription button below. Come on in. Hey guys, DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey, man, I just want to just take a few minutes and have a, I don't have a fire, but we're going to have a fireside chat here. And this is about just how dysfunctional, the government is, and how the government is manipulating us through mainstream media to keep our focus off of the things that are important and really have us caught up in the Russian probe, Mueller investigation, soap opera, reality show. And it's really sad, it really is, and just to validate, for myself, if I have it right or if I have it wrong, that this is intentional. I decided this morning to turn on, just on a whim, because I've stopped watching mainstream media. I'm talking about Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and the rest of, that. It is fake news now. I have to be honest with you, because I'm not saying that the information they're saying is not true. I'm saying that the information is to fake you out. It's like in a football game, you know what I'm saying? Or if you got a defensive player and you have an offensive running back and he's trying to tackle the guy, the defensive player is trying to tackle the runner, he has to fake it. You know what I'm saying? So the action is a real action, but the behavior is a behavior to cause him, to miss, to disconnect. And so when I say fake news, fake media, it is for us to disconnect with what the real realities are. Okay? I hope that's a good enough analogy for you there. And here's my point. I turn it on and I say to myself, I wonder if they're going to be talking the same silly narrative about the Russian investigation and Trump and impeachment and that silliness. CNN showing up. They have a panel on there this morning talking about it. I'm looking at myself like, okay, this is serious. So I said, let me try their competition. Fox News. What? Fox News, they started off for just a second talking about something that was really important, talking about the flooding that's going on in Arkansas, which is a serious situation. The whole state, guys, is flooding out. And you wouldn't know that looking at mainstream media. But I'm going to come back to that. What happens right immediately after that? That's Fox News. Same thing. Mueller, Trump, Mueller, impeach or not impeach. Trump is great. Just rhetoric. It has nothing to do about if he's great or not. Why does it matter to us if Trump is great? Is he king of the United States of America? Is he the creator now? Is he God? Using their words. You know what I'm saying? Some of your words. I'm never going to put him in the same place. I'm not going to say, is he Yahweh? Because, please, serious? But is he God to you? Is he God to the civilization? Why does it matter if he's great or not great? He's just a normal human being. I guarantee you this morning he took a piss, he took a shit, he had to shave, and I hope he took a bath. Now, don't you do those things? Does that make you great, somehow unique? If you're in a position of responsibility, just do your damn job. Greatness ain't got a damn thing to do with it. Not at this stage. But that's the distraction. That's the kind of stuff that you're hearing about. But yet, the real news that's going on around us right now is that all of this rain, all of this flooding that's going on through the Midwest and now making its way down to the Southeast, guys, is destroying the economy. Yeah, you heard me right. It's destroying the economy. You ask why? Because they're growing crops. All the food and products that are produced here in the United States, guys, is either not being produced or so off schedule by this time next year, and probably by the fall of this year. Inflation and the price of goods are going to be so high that most of us are going to have a hard time, being able to put bread on the table. And we're not even talking about the job market. We already talked about the layoff, the thousands and thousands of store closings, manufactory closings, etc. That's the news, guys. And right now, Arkansas, I think I saw some of their floodgates. I think the maximum flood they can handle is like 43 feet. They're at 48 now. The worst flooding in Arkansas in, I think they said 70 years, guys. Since like 1927, I think is the term. So that's probably more than 70 years. Same thing going on in Oklahoma. The same thing going on in Louisiana. And not only is that happening right now, and people's homes are being flooded out. Some people, there's water over the homes in Arkansas, in some of these cities, especially those cities along the river. And you would never know that looking at mainstream media. That is a crisis, guys. And where are the government going to get the funds to help those people through recovery? We still have people down in Florida from a tornado last year that they're still living in tents outside. You wouldn't know it if you were watching the mainstream media, would you? No, you wouldn't know it. So you've got massive flooding. I was down in Louisiana a few weeks ago, and the Mississippi River is a place that, as you guys, if you watched any of my videos or if you heard me talk about it, it's a place that's endearing to me. And I'm talking about the water levels in the Mississippi River in New Orleans. I've never saw it that high before. Never. And there's still more flooding to come. They'll open up the spillways down there. Ultimately, if these levees and dams give, you're going to have a major crisis. Not only are you going to have a housing crisis, you follow me, or are you going to have situations going on with diseases, because a lot of those things that are in these waters, like in Arkansas, for example, the snakes and other creatures out there that are deadly creatures. Well, if the river starts to overflow, they're going to go to dry land. That means these snakes and other animals who normally stay in the water area next to the water banks are going to be right in these main cities and these streets. And then you're talking about mosquitoes, because it's about the summertime. You know anything about the South? And mosquitoes, mosquitoes are nothing nice down in the South. And you're talking about the spread of all kinds of diseases that could be blood-borne diseases, mosquito bites, and and things of that nature. So you got, and then again, back to the crops. Serious things that's going to affect you and I down the road, and yet mainstream media is sitting there, pushing soap opera material at best. And they're getting away with it because we continue to watch it. Not we as in me, but we maybe as in you. Continue to watch it. If you're not researching some of the things that I'm saying to you right now, then you're letting me down. And you're letting yourself down. Just Google up Arkansas flooding. Okay, just Google it up. You got your phone. If you're looking at me, then you can look at me and still Google. Well, you probably can't do that, and plus I want you to listen to me anyway until I finish, all right? But Google it up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If the information is right there, but you would never know it watching mainstream media, guys. The last thing I'll say in this particular video, I was watching a documentary just recently, and it was about this Russian CIA, KGB agent. And the KGB, in case you don't know, is the Russian equivalence of the CIA. And one of the things this guy said that they used in Russia, when they wanted to take and overturn or manipulate, I guess that's the right word he said, when they wanted to mind control the citizens of any country that they were trying to destroy the infrastructure, there were 4 tactics that they used. He said the first tactic was demoralization. In other words, they would attack the morals of that particular country. So they would do things that would be considered normally by that culture as immoral. So the things that would be moral, they would take and attack the morality. So first it would be demoralization. The second they would do would be destabilization. So they would do is start going in and doing things to sabotage the economy. All right, so whether it's attacking their oil refineries, attacking their minerals, their natural resources, but anything that would cause destabilization, like their government, get their government infighting, get the government distracted. So in essence, the people are going to become distracted ultimately. Because the government is dysfunctional, it's only going to be a matter of time before civilization or those civilizations are dysfunctional. So the second thing was destabilization. The third thing was crisis, which is a natural situation, because if you got a lack of morals, you got destabilization, you're going to have a crisis on your hand. And then the fourth step is going to be normalization. In other words, once you've got all of those things going on, then everything that would have been seen as obscene, everything that would have been seen as ridiculous, outrageous, now has become normal. And I bring that to your attention because that's what's going on right now here in these United States. Demoralization, destabilization. We're in a state of crisis right now. All these things are going on and nobody's paying attention to them, which is really creating a bigger crisis, especially when the economy starts to really show its true self. I'm not talking about the stock market manipulation that's going on right now. because that market is a bubble, guys. You know, if you're investing in it good and you're making some money on it, good. But when that thing busts, and it's gonna bust, you're gonna find out that if you got money in there, then you can kiss that money goodbye. All right, so don't go off of, they're telling you about all these jobs and new jobs that were created. Guys, they're talking about temporary jobs. They're talking about doing surveys, calling people home and say, hey, did you work this week? Yeah. What kind of work? Well, I did some part-time work, temporary work. How many hours did you work? Well, 3 hours this week. Okay, thank you. And that's counted as a new job. That's counted as jobs or new jobs. That's the kind of buffoonery. You working 20-hour jobs, can't even pay your bills part-time, and they're counting that as new jobs. Again, creating destabilization. Because they know ultimately it's going to be a crisis. When people don't have bread on their tables, you can believe, and if people can't afford to buy the necessities of life, you're going to see a crisis in the streets beyond proportion. And what's going on with this flooding, these weather patterns that are totally unusual. I mean, weather things that are going on, temperatures that are going on, flooding that's going on, that has not happened for almost a century. And yet we're not being told about this stuff. We're not being asked to take the necessary precautions, the necessary steps. We're not planning for these things. And guys, when this stuff comes around, it's going to be catastrophes. You've heard me say it before, guys. If you have resources, especially monetary resources, get it out of the financial institution. I'm telling you, you better put it somewhere else where you can get it when you need it. And small denominations, I might add. Because when this stuff hits the fans, it's everything that you normally get at the Walmart is going to be scarce. And it's going to be so expensive. If you don't have resources, and if the money markets crash, you follow me, you're going to have a bigger problem because you could probably lost all of your money. So if you don't have it already out of there and parked and put on the side so you can protect yourself and protect your family, you're going to be in trouble. And for all you airheads out there who are focused on immaterial things and who said what about who and who goes with who and who's dating who, you better leave that child's play alone. You better get serious and start focusing on things that really matters at the end of the day. Because you're going to be confronted with it, whether you want to deal with this reality or not. All of us are going to have to deal with it. I'm just one voice crying in the wilderness and saying to you guys, prepare yourself. If that's the best mainstream media has to offer, you to turn that foolishness off. Who gives a damn about the 2020 elections if people are going to be starving, homeless, jobless? Who gives a shit about that? I know I don't. And I suspect you wouldn't either. But that's where it is. No plans. Think about it. They're not talking about plans. They're not talking about building the infrastructure of this country. They're not talking about job creation. They're over there picking fights with China, who has raw materials that are essential to your basic needs. It's like a cell damn phone. And China's talking about, and China warning their people saying, look, we don't pull our stuff back in. If the United States are going to put fines and tariffs on us, then fine. We won't give them the things that they need. And China controls 80% of the raw material that you need, raw minerals, that you need for most of your cell phones and things like that. They do. Of the world, they control that market. And we're over there picking fights with them. We have a government who's dead set on being okay with that. Democrats, Republic, they're all, if you notice, none of them are saying, hey, this thing with China is not working. We just cut that shit out. You don't hear any of them. They're all in cahoots with it. Now, your question should be why? Why is our government focused on petty foolishness? Like, if Trump should be impeached or not, like that's going to change any damn thing at the end of the day. It isn't. If he's impeached, Pence is coming in. You think Pence is going to be any better than Trump? All right. That's the case. You've heard me say before, I have some oceanfront property in Arizona that I'll sell to you real cheap, if that's what you believe. So, guys, I'm just, again, like the Chinese media told the Chinese, they say when shit hits the fan, don't say we didn't warn you. Okay, I'm telling you, when shit hit the fan here, if you don't listen and prepare and get yourself in a position so that you can survive, don't say I didn't warn you. And I say that because I love you and care about you. I don't want anything from you. You know what I'm saying? I want your partnership. That's what I want. So that together we can survive this storm, this major catastrophe storm that's coming our way. And guys, let me tell it, we're distracted. All right. Love you. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Ask that you will support the channel by sharing the video. And I'll talk to you soon, guys. DFG here. Bye now.